Hello, welcome to CryptoCoach365. We're on day 91 right now. Michael Tozoni here. It's my little book that I use. I am here in Chicago, still in Chicago. Not much of a skyline because I'm a little bit outside of Chicago, but I'm not really here to see Chicago. I'm here to see JT Foxx. I'm here for the 2-day training, and it's really reminded me of why business coaches are really good. I mean, this little book that I mentioned, pen on the side, papers, this is how I organize my life now, and it has been an extraordinarily great improvement compared to what I used to do before. And I think I may have mentioned this in one of the previous videos. The way this works is every day I have a list of my transformational things, the big picture things, and transactional things, just my tasks. And as you can see, I've had quite a few days, quite a lot of tasks. So because of this, I am not forgetting to do things like I used to. And I have been like probably 20 times more, effective, efficient. I've done 20 times as much stuff as I used to because this really keeps me on track, a little booklet. And the way that works is every day, every evening before going to bed, when I look through it, anything that has not been done, I have to copy it over to the next day. And this gives me a constant reminder of what I keep putting off or what still needs to be done. And kind of motivates me because it makes me not want to write as much going forward. So I just sit down and get rid of stuff that I've been writing down way too many times just because I want to not have to write it down again. But with coming here for JT's coaching, like I said, it really reminds me why coaching is important. And that's because, like he says, and like I've been really finding out, you can reach success on your own if you're lucky, but it's not something that, it's not easy, let's say. Like for me, it took me, I started on this whole path back in 2001, and I've only really got the whole mentality part of it maybe by 2007 or 8, because I kind of, you can read stuff on your own, and that's actually one of the objections that I've had somebody tell me, like, why would you pay this guy so much money? He's obviously a scammer. Anything he tells you, you can find online on YouTube or whatever, which is true, but that's not the point. Yes, I've read all the, like, how to be wealthy, how to invest, how to do real estate. Started with Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Definitely recommend book if you have not read it, because that is a good way to start. But the problem is, I read all of that, and then I went to work, and I got a degree, and I worked on some jobs, and it's really easy to get into that same kind of mundane drifting mode, where you basically do the exact same thing that everybody else does, because it's the easy thing to do, it's a comfortable thing to do, it's what the rest of the world keeps telling you to do. And it's, in order to get to where I am at right now, you have to do things that people, not only that the rest of the world doesn't do, but that the rest of the world will, like your friends and family and others, will probably ridicule you for, will probably be very skeptical of it. The world will, like, other people in the world will probably not like you doing that, or think it's really stupid. Like the whole cryptocurrency investing thing itself was, like, we put up with, like, years of people making fun of us as some weird nerds with their magic internet money or whatever the hell. And the main thing is, it's also a very scary thing to do. You put yourself on a line, you take risks that are way outside your comfort zone. So it took me a little while to actually move from there to the whole where I have the right mindset, but also actually apply it. Like, I had to up and quit my job, basically. But because this whole world is set up in that way, there's actually another book that I would really recommend. So the second book I would recommend after Rich Dad, Poor Dad is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill recently published another book called crap, I actually forgot. I mentioned it before. It's something about the devil. Napoleon Hill, devil, look it up. It's not Interview with the Devil, but it's something like that. Basically, he describes that the whole world is set up in a specific rhythm. And the best way to find and see this rhythm in action is if you go to, let's say, Fifth Avenue in New York, you'll see that that street has a specific kind of rhythm where there's nice stores, people are fairly well off, a lot of business, a lot of hustle, bustle going on. If you go to a couple of blocks off to one of the poorer portions of New York or any of the poorer portions of cities like Baltimore that I was from, you'll see a totally different rhythm. There's a lot of poverty, a lot of kind of conflict, not a lot of stuff that's good going on. And these portions of the world just kind of establish their rhythm and they pretty much absorb and pull people into it. So like literally, if you live in a poor neighborhood and you move to a rich neighborhood, there's a really good chance that you will absorb that kind of a wealth mentality rhythm just by living there. Likewise, if you live in a fairly off neighborhood and something happens and you move to a poor neighborhood, you'll probably get influenced by that rhythm as well. Probably not as much because you'll at least know what to look out for and what to watch out, but still. So point I'm getting to is that we live in a world where the rhythm of the entire world is to keep you like everybody else, keep you kind of subjugated, keep you in a kind of situation where your American dream, so to speak, or wherever you might be from, probably applies to you too, is you get a good education, you get a nice job, you work your job, then you retire when you're old, and then maybe you have enough money to actually enjoy life for a change, for a start, when you turn like 65 or whatever. And the entire world has this kind of rhythm that is almost like a pressure that's kind of like pressing on you. And it's very, very easy to get caught up in it. So including with if you do start to move up in your wealth or success, or trying to do something that other people are not doing in order to move yourself up, chances are there's going to be people attacking you, trying to pull you down too. So it kind of works from both sides. The entire world is telling you like, no, don't do this. And from the bottom, they're also like pulling you down. Excuse me, coughing. I caught something in a plane, but whatever. The reason I bring this up is because I read the books in 2011. I kind of started doing that, but then I got a job, I got a degree, I got another job, and I ended up being swallowed up by that same rhythm again. And it took me quite a bit to break myself out of it. So even though, honestly, I really started the whole building wealth success trip in 2001, I didn't actually move to the doing it full time until I would say that's probably when Bitcoin came around. So it's probably about 7 years ago, maybe 8. And even then, it was still very, very difficult to do this on my own. And as I'm finding right now with my business coach, the reason I mentioned business coaches or any coach is needed is because it is really difficult to break a habit, and it is very easy to get into the same rhythm, especially because rhythm is usually a place where you're comfortable. So for me, it's the same deal where for the last year, I started building businesses. I started doing kind of a lot of my own stuff, and then like real estate, obviously, my cryptocurrency business coaching that you're listening to right now, the big business I'm building right now, a couple of other minor things I'm working on as well. But after a while, like it's really hard to kind of keep yourself motivated, and even if like you don't even think about it, you just kind of start drifting again, just because the world kind of starts to pull you back a little bit, kind of trying to press you down a little bit, kind of making things a little bit more comfortable for you again. Like there's, you may want to catch up on a TV show, you may want to get back into your old habits of arguing on Facebook, and that's one of mine that I really need to break. There's a little more entertainment, some games that you haven't played, some just bad habits, or just even not bad habits, but just sitting back and relaxing and not really feeling like doing anything for a while. And it's just the rhythm of the world, I guess, is kind of keeps pushing you into that. So where a coach is very, very useful, a coach is somebody, at least in this case, with JT especially, like I would meet him, I would talk with him, I would do the coaching, I would figure out what my next tasks are, then I would get back to work, go back to my own wherever I live or wherever I'm at, and start working on those tasks. And then a lot of them take a long time to execute, and sometimes there's some delays, sometimes there's a lot of unexpected issues. You basically do the, one foot in front of the other, just keep working through them, working through them. And then eventually you kind of just drift back and get back into your nice comfortable place, and you kind of have to keep kicking yourself out of bed or off the couch or whatever to, you gotta get this stuff done. But like I said, it's you can very easily make a lot of excuses, especially in my position. Like for me, I don't need to work anymore. There are goals that I really, really need to accomplish in my life. But if I don't, it's not like I'll be starving in the streets. So where a coach comes in handy is he motivates you. He gives you feedback on where you're screwing up. He gives you motivation. He gives you more tasks, and gets you back in the game, so to speak. And it's not something that you can really do yourself. And unfortunately, the kind of people who were your friends were probably your friends who were like you before you started doing this thing, or at the very least are probably not the kind of people who can provide the motivation to move you up. If you have friends who are way above you on the business, wealth, and success scale, then you're very lucky. Please let them keep motivating you. Otherwise, unfortunately, most of us don't have those kind of friends, and that's where you would need a business coach, or if you're doing something else, just a coach. Like if you're exercising, you'll probably drift off and start slacking off. You'll need a coach. If you're building a business, you need a business coach. If you're if you're doing music, maybe you need a music coach. I don't know. There's coaches for almost everything. If you want to succeed, you need a coach, because you can't do this thing on your own, and you will likely fail, or maybe not fail, but it will take a much longer to do this stuff on your own, as has been the case with me, unfortunately. So here in Chicago, JT Foxx was quite dynamite up on stage. It was very nice, fun to listen to. It was very engaging, and he did give quite a lot of information that I like, a lot of notes and other things I was writing down. But the reason I kind of hit me as I was listening to this is, the reason it hit me that I started talking about this is that as I'm listening to him, he might not even realize exactly what he's saying would apply to me, or he's just saying things that he already has experience with. But as I'm listening to him, I suddenly think, oh wait, there's this thing that I needed to do that he just mentioned that's related to it that I totally forgot I need to do. So I whip out my little book and put a note in there that I need to do this tomorrow. Or like he talks again, and then there's another thing. It's like, oh crap, I didn't even think about this strategy on something we're working on. So I contact my person and say, hey, we need to meet on Thursday because we need to discuss this kind of stuff. So it's just kind of a refresher to keep you going. And that's really why a coach is needed. So like I said in the beginning, the information is out there. It's out online. It's out in books. But the information is not coaching. Information is just teaching. You don't need teaching you need teaching for success, but you don't get there just by reading, like staying up till 4 a.m. reading random Wikipedia articles or whatever you might get information from. You need somebody to actually give you ideas that are specific to your business, because as a famous guy in politics once say, we don't know what we don't know, which actually applies in finance, as I found out a lot too, because there's kind of a tangent, there's a lot of really complex concepts in investing in finance, which even though we have Google, you would never be able to find because you would not know what the actual keywords to search for, because you don't know what those things are named or called. And because you don't even know that they exist, you wouldn't even know to look for them or to find them out. So we don't know what we don't know. The coaches will help. And because of the pressures of the world to try to get you more comfortable, you need the motivation to, motivation from a coach to overcome it. So yeah, lots of information. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go over that in here. I might go over some of the things that I took, the notes like over today and tomorrow. I might go over that tomorrow's Crypto Coach in the evening, just to kind of review the kind of things that I learned. They're probably going to be things you might be interested in knowing too. But yeah, that's it. Coaching is definitely good. Please, I hope you guys, I hope this kind of hits you where you kind of understand what I'm talking about in regards to why you actually do need somebody else to work with you and help you and kind of help get you where you need. Because, basically I'm just repeating myself, but yeah, we drift. We need somebody else to get us out of the drifting. And I think that's actually what's been happening with me in the last couple of days, as you may have noticed, where I've been feeling kind of down, I kind of burned out. And I think part of that was that whole kind of being caught up by the drifting and not wanting to be, not wanting to put in as much effort as I really needed to. And thankfully I have somebody like JT to kick me in the butt and get me going again. So anyway, that's it for today. I'm going to go get some dinner and then catch up on a whole lot of tasks that I wrote for myself today that I want to finish today, because speed of implementation, the sooner you get it done, the better you'll do with it. So yeah, I'm gonna get food and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.